Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are here for the first time and if you are seeing me for the first time, this is China, so you are very much welcome. Guys, it has really been over a week, 1 week plus, that I came here. I was here last time, and throughout last week I wasn't able to post any video. In fact, I was not even able to touch my camera, but thank God, to the glory of God, I am here today to share my opinion as well, right? And today I want to discuss on the topic that I titled the power of your testimony. The power of your testimony. And before I go into that, I would like to say my neighbors are around. AC is on, generator sound. This is Nigeria, we can't help it. So in case if you're hearing a lot of noises, in fact, let me even off the AC. I think it's making a lot of noise. So let's focus on, let's be hearing generator sound and neighbor talking. But then, pardon me for that. I am sorry for that. So guys, like I said before, today I want to talk on the topic that says the power of your testimony. The power of your testimony. We the Christians, sometimes we don't really understand the power of our testimony. See guys, many people may dispute your theology. It's not everybody that will believe in Jesus. It is not everybody that will believe in that God that you are serving, which is Jesus. As a Christian, it is not everybody. We have Muslims, we have Hindus, we have Buddhists, just name them. So it is not everybody, obviously, that will believe in the same God that you are serving and you are worshiping, right? But you see your testimony. You see, sharing your testimony, there is a kind of power that is behind your testimony that can even make the hardest heart, that stone heart, or let's say that iron heart, your story can melt such a heart and win that soul to Christ. You don't know. It is not only when you share your story or your testimony, rather, in church, that I'm sharing my stories, or I'm giving my testimony. Sometimes try and share your stories with the unbelievers. Who do I refer as unbelievers? Are those people that are not Christian, people that don't believe in Jesus. Share your story to them. Share your story to them. You might not know who you will save his or her soul. You may not know. I don't know if we had heard about a man called Dr. David Cho. He is from South Korea. In fact, this man is the man that built the largest church in South Korea. Church can contain more than millions of people. Yes, this man, Dr. David Cho, he was a Buddhist. For those that don't know or may not know what is who a Buddhist is, a Buddhist is somebody who don't believe that God exists. In fact, they don't believe in any God. They don't believe in Muhammad. They don't believe in Krishna. They don't believe in Diva. They don't believe in Shiva. They don't believe in Jesus Christ. They don't believe even the Buddha that they respect, they worship. It's just out of respect. They don't believe that any God exists on this planet. But what happened when this lady met him for the first time? She shared her story with him, and that was it. They never met anymore. They never met again. After that story, he became a Christian. He gave his life to Christ. to an extent of building the largest church for Christ in South Korea. That is the power of testimony. The power of testimony. Had it been that lady was not able to share her story, this soul may not be saved. So you need to share your stories not only in church. That is where we are missing it. Christian, I'm sharing my testimony. I share my testimony every Sunday in church. What about your neighbors? What about those people at your working place? Those of your friends who are not Christian? How often do you tell them about Christ? Do you share your story with them? By the way, I wrote down here four things to keep in mind while sharing your testimony. There is 4 things you should keep in mind while sharing your testimony, especially with the unbeliever. That's the part I want us to key on now. It is not sharing your testimony in church alone. That one is also very important because you may not know who you are encouraging. Right? A lot of people in church, when you share your testimony, you'll be able to rebuild their faith in God. Give them hope. Give them hope. Make their faith more strong, because some people, like one person said, a lot of church is like a hospital. I think it's Pastor Ken. Say church is like, is Pastor Ken? Is that his name? This man that talks so much about marriage, Pastor Okonkwo. Everybody knows the man. I just can't remember his first name, but his surname is Okonkwo. So he said, church is like a hospital. It's not everybody that is responding to treatment. That is the reason why if you go to church, your phone will lost. A lot of people are there, different kinds of people. But that's not what we are talking today. So, while sharing your testimony in church, you will be able to rebuild some lost hope and make some people faith to be strong again in Christ. So that one is important also. But the part I'm going to now is sharing your testimony with unbelievers. So there are 4 things rather I want you to put in mind while sharing your testimony with them. So number 1, I wrote it down here, and number 1 says, be interesting. Be interesting. Give the short version. Give the short version. Sometimes people will come out to give their testimony and a lot of long corner, do this, Try not to use, if possible, try not to use overused opinion or phrase and betrays a lack of original thought. I don't know if you get me there. Try not to use that overused opinion. That opinion that people always use, to convince people. Try not to use that. That thing, that word that will make people, they will look at it and that can betray the original thought. Try not to use that. Be interesting. We all know that Jesus is exciting. In John 10:10, he came to bring life more abundantly. So let your story be interesting and people will flock to hear it. You may not know, you might not know how many souls you will win for Christ. Be interesting while sharing your testimony. Now moving on to number two, which I wrote down here, which says be specific. Be specific. I said talk about how it used to be before you met Christ, and talk about how it is now. that you have met Jesus. Don't sugarcoat anything. Don't try to paint anything. Don't try to add flavor to make it sweet. Be specific, especially when you are talking to non-Christians. Be specific. Always go straight to the point. Don't try to say what is not true. Remember, they are not Christian. They need to be convinced, not by hearing what is not true. Be specific. Now, that is number 2. Quickly moving on to number 3. Moving on to number 3, which I wrote down here. Be honest. Be honest. Don't go and be telling that once you become a Christian that all your problems disappears. That's a lie. And you know that this Christian life is not a playing field. It is a battlefield. Jesus is not a magician. He is not a magician. There are things he can do, and there are things he can do through men. You cannot be in your house on your bed sleeping and you are expecting money. God provides, but he cannot throw naira. He cannot throw dollar from heaven. You have to go out there and work. Then he will perfect that. He said he will bless the works of your hands. There must be something in your hand. He is not a magician. He is not. Tell them that he that is in them is greater than he that is in this world. He did not promise us a problem-free life. We are just striving here to have a place in heaven. Have eternal rest, have eternal glory, eternal victory in heaven. That is why we are here. That is the reason why we are here. So be honest with them. Imagine a prophet, even a popular prophet, was telling his members that somebody went into washroom in Nigeria and they mentioned his name, or probably the person saw his poster inside the washroom, and then the person saw himself in abroad without visa, without boarding a flight. Is that possible? And the members were clapping and jubilating. I was like, what is all this? Jesus is not the magician. The other one from which country? Not in Nigeria, but all these African countries. You know, Africans, they do this most time. That one was dialing God on phone. He said he was calling God on phone. Please, if you have Jesus contacts, share it to us. Share it to us. In fact, I'm not the only one looking for that number. I mean, there are plenty people who wants to talk to Jesus one-on-one. So share the contact to us. Let us also call Jesus. Come on, there is no place in the Bible that Jesus left his phone number. There is no place. Quote me wrong or quote me right, anyone. The only way to reach God, to reach Jesus, is prayer, through prayer. That's all. You pray to God. That is the only way to get to him. It is not by dialing your phone. You are deceiving people. Stop deceiving them. Be honest with your story, Christians. Be honest with your story. Stop sugarcoating anything. Stop lying to people. That is number 3. I don't want to make this video so long. It's becoming so long here. And then moving on to number 4, which says, be warm. Don't try to arm wrestle them into the kingdom of God. Be gracious. Don't force anybody. Don't even blackmail anybody. You know, sometimes people used to use some stories to make people believe that, oh, they talk one-on-one with Christ. You know, in fact, they sit down, they talk with God. A lot of men of God do that. They just want to let you know that they hear directly from God. Do not force, do not blackmail anyone. If Bible said somewhere that God told us that if you go to any place and they don't welcome you, to tell them about Christ, that you should just gently dust off your feet and leave them. So you don't have to force anybody. Sow the seed and leave the harvest for God. Let God take care. Do your best. Don't force anybody. Allow them to make that decision. Don't tell your story based on trying to emotionally blackmail people into coming to Christ. No, don't force anybody. In fact, if you force people to do some things, at last or later, it's usually not, it doesn't come out well. I personally, you can't force me to do something. So don't force anybody. Be warm with them, guys. That is all I want to share in this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have watched till this very moment, thank you and God bless you, guys. In case you are here to subscribe to this channel, what are you waiting for? Try and subscribe and click on the bell sign. For doing that, you'll be able to get notified each time I upload a new video. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. And guys, I will see you in my next video. God bless you and have a good day. Bye bye.